Testing 1 2 3. Mic check. 1 2 3. Y'all hear me? Hey, Watchtower, how you doing? Chim, random ladybird. So glad y'all are here. Stand by 1 moment. Hello, Thomas. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. Ryu, thank you for the follow. So, how's everyone's weekend so far? Much needed rain. Getting in a lot of rain where you're at, Chim? Morning, tropism and affordable dancing ghosts. Just came back from a comic book and RPG fair. Nice, isn't it like comic book day? Like today or yesterday? So it's definitely the time to go. What game did you get in? Oh no, Chim. Blue nicknames on black kills your eyes. I understand. I understand. But, you know, not everyone's watching Twitch on a black background. Some people are watching it on a white background, so the blue might be ideal for them. A D&D one-shot? Pretty fun? Nice. How'd it go? Tell us about it. Hey, Anani, how you doing? How's the cat man? Mountain Goats, Deep Sea Adventure, and a Pergola? That was the game that you played? I'm so confused. Hey, Luminous, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back. All right, let's switch over to the next scene. You know what, Watchtower, that's totally fine. Canceling D&D sometimes is the DM because you just need a break. That's like personal health is wealth, you know what I mean? And the DMs put a lot of effort and time into making the game run. A long-term D&D game especially. So when you need a break, take it. Oops. Let's talk about the itinerary today, shall we? Hey, Atlam, how are you? But I mean, the campaign can't go on if you're not like able to participate, right? DMs, GMs. So take care of yourself first. Think of it like an airplane. You know how the stewardess is like, make sure you attach your own breathing device first before you worry about others. Oh no, Thomas. Okay, so basically, we had to get out from a dungeon and collect some gems. The player with the most amount of gems would win, and my table actually won. I got a final 1v1 with a rogue, but I failed initiative. Yeah, if you fail initiative against a rogue, it's not going to end well for you unless you have shield. That probably didn't go well, huh? Let's see here. Encouraged me to make a song tech for my next D&D, so very excited to play that for my players this week. Awesome. I'd love to hear it if you'd be willing to send it my way if there's like a file of it. I feel like I'm the only person in my party who could 1v1 a rogue and win. But it's mainly because I just have ridiculous amounts of like ability to subvert other people's roles with my luck and like other abilities. Not just like my personal luck, but my character has luck. Stand by. Okay, let's talk about this itinerary for a moment, shall we? So, in the news segment, I've got a couple things to show you. Oh no, I messed that up. It should say mechanical arms. It says mechanical arms. So, my bad, typo. And gears. So, I'll show those momentarily. Afterwards, we'll dive into the dam challenge, which was Frozen Tundra. Following will be Dungeon Alchemist Q&A, which we will follow that with an asset showcase and then a feature showcase with, yeah, type, you know what? I'm only human, right, KO'd? Pobody's nerfed, right? How you doing, KO'd? Welcome back. If we have time for the feature segment, we will showcase the object brush and all the things you can do with it. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let me pull up these teasers that I know y'all are excited to see. You know, I like to throw the typos in there once in a while so you know there's a human behind all the effort. Gotta keep you on your toes. So the next update will include all sorts of like gears and connection points. Yeah, the Archimedes update for sure. Grab the gear. Anyway, I think it'll be really fun with all the cool things you could do in the next update with all these gears. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice. There's a table saw back there. Pause. You see right here? There's a neat little table saw there. I didn't even notice it before. You know, that's a good question, Blue Mage. I'm not sure. I imagine they'll connect together through not necessarily like how ropes and chains do, but probably more like how pipes do. The modular objects, I'd imagine, is how it works. You need belts, like some leather belts, right? Some sagging leather belts that are like really long and like, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, wow, affordable dancing ghosts. That sounds so cool. That sounds so cool. You know, keep me apprised to the progress. I'd love to see it, especially if you're in our Discord. Feel free to send me some images of it or share them in our community creations section. So, KO, I'm thinking of like Doc Brown's like icebox in Back to the Future 3 because he like wanted iced tea, right? You know, the big crazy machine he has in his like barn just to get like a single dirty ice cube. And it has like crazy gears and belts and pistons and stuff all over. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize the music had stopped. I'm gonna fix that really quickly. That's really cool, Affordable Dancing Ghost. I'd love to see it, and I'd be honored, in fact. Alrighty. So, gears. Are y'all excited about these gears? If you're excited about the gears, I think you'll be excited about these as well. The mechanical arms are just zany in like the most fun ways. Think like a villain against like a good guy or like some Scrooge McDuck type stuff. You know, our one of our objects already does flip the bird. We have the monkey paw actually as an item, and if it sits there long enough, it'll flip you off. He's been working on robot arms. Very cool. But if you look to the side here, you see all these Da Vinci-esque gearboxes. Look at this, like, I don't know, spindle helicopter thing and all these gears and spoke gears. It's going to be cool for sure. Random. I like it when it points and spins around. Like you! All of you! It's very Seussical. You know what I mean? All right. It is indeed cycling through several animations, and that's not the final state of its release. It'll probably be different when it releases. So, Tropism, how many accounts do you have? Blue Mage. That just reminded me of something, Blue Mage. So, big Gears of War fan, big Halo fan, you know, Microsoft franchises, Xbox franchises growing up, was very much into them. But my ship on Helldivers is the SS Halo of War. I don't know why, but it makes me giggle every time I see it. You moved over here now, super ready to see all these epic maps? There are some epic maps for sure. We were just showing some teasers. Did you see the teasers, Luminous? Ye old mechanical arm. KO'd a tomato? Jeez, that's brutal. Might as well boo me. Just two, not sure why I logged you into the other email. No, what? No worries, tropism. Okay, you're hilarious. Alrighty, on to the dam challenge. You know me all too well, KO'd, from the old days when I definitely lost my sanity making a railroad with hammers. Right? And then, obviously, you know you don't need that because you made the Donkey Kong map. But it's just funny. It's a good layer of funny. Luminous, I asked you if you saw the teasers earlier. The gears and the hand, the mechanical arm. Back, shakes fist at clouds. Back in my day, map making was difficult and we liked it. Oh, a steampunk or medieval factory vibe would be cool. It'd be cool if it was like those like Looney Tunes commercial or like cartoon where it's like the huge log comes in and on the other end it's just like a toothpick that comes out and you have all those doohickeys cutting things up and moving things about. Toothpick factory. So I gotta say congratulations to Chim, Traveler Chimaru. You won the dam challenge, my friend. The Snowshine Shrine, say that 10 times fast, I dare you. Snowshine Shrine, Snowshine Shrine. Can't even say it 5 times fast. So, first off, I just want to point out that this map is a friggin' snowflake. That's awesome that you were able to shape the structure into a snowflake. I was very stunned by this. I would love to learn more about this process. Particularly these little jaggies right here. It's just cool. This is cool. Wouldn't you agree? So can we get some congratulations to Chim? Pats on the back. You know, all the kind words, because we can't all win, but we can all be winners, right? Oh my goodness. I'll be honest. Mac is a bit tired, a bit sore, a bit sunburned. I think I got a bit of heat exhaustion the other day working in the yard. It's even in the spring here in Vegas, it gets into the mid 90s during the day, which, you know, that'll just make you drip tons of sweat, gallons of it a day. So I been working in the yard a lot, and it just messed me up. Last 2 days have just been drinking water and sleeping. Hey, Low Dame, welcome back. Isn't it a fantastic castle? This is the winner of the Dam Challenge. The theme was Frozen Tundra, and I just found this map absolutely enchanting. So, Chim, tell us a little bit about your thoughts behind this map, your design process, and why you chose to make a snowflake castle. Where is Elsa at, right? It does, yeah, right, Lizzie? Isn't that fantastic? I am honestly impressed. Let it go. Let it go. Oops, I'm in the wrong computer. One moment. I'm looking at nothing. Let me aim this camera down. That is very impressive. Just the shaping of the structure. Yeah, we will go inside shortly. Just love the exterior. Great use of the sandstone rocks, turning them into the ice stone or white stone here. And as you enter, you have a snow fox greeting you. And then, of course, a kitsune hanging out. Hey, Chim, did you upload these assets yourself? Did you make these with Meshi AI? Nice. So, Chim has been learning how to generate assets using Meshi AI. And Meshi as a tool, I've used it over the years, mainly to decimate objects, or to just reduce their size or like quality when I'm 3D printing or 3D designing typically. But Meshi in the last few years has added an AI like asset generation. And Chim has actually spent like the last year getting really used to the tool and familiarizing herself with it. And she's put together a little tutorial, a guide that can help you understand the tool and how to make assets for Dungeon Alchemist. Which 3D assets it's a bit of a club to make assets. It's kind of gate kept. It's a lot of work to learn how to do it. Like there's a lot of tutorials on it online. You can watch a lot of the information, and we have a lot of people in our community that can guide you through it, but it's not necessarily, something that is straightforward to jump into. And her designing this guide was a great tool, I think, for those who want to make 3D assets, but maybe can't commit themselves to a tool like Blender, because, you may not want to generate and create assets from scratch. Listen, Low Dame, not everyone is as talented as you and can make assets you know, from scratch, or our artists on the team. Now, that said, I do think if people are trying to learn, even if it starts with AI, that is a step towards learning how to do those things. Hey, Pike, how you doing? Welcome back. I love this shrine right here with like all the paper and the brushes and stuff. Looks like someone's ready to write a bunch of letters. Haikus, nice. A kitsune writing haikus is actually pretty dope, if you think about it. You know, the way I look at it is not everyone has the time or know-how or resources to learn these tools. Sure, there are lots of things available for free to learn, but not everyone can commit themselves to that. And that's not saying they're lazy or unwilling. They want to, but maybe, you know, if you work 2 full-time jobs or have 8 kids or, you know, 60 employees under you, it may be hard to learn these skills on the side. So I think that, you know, if someone is willing to put in the effort to try and learn anything, I encourage it. Blender is difficult to pick up. It's free, but it's difficult to learn. I get it, Lizzie. Yeah, some people can't just learn from a few tutorials. Some need hands-on, like guidance, like a teacher or a professor. Some need, lots of practice and repetition. Everybody learns a little bit differently, as we discuss often on this stream. I try my best to accommodate to lots of different learning styles during the stream. We do that by, showcasing maps, not just for, their visual aesthetic, but like the various things you can do in them and how to do them. We like to show the process end to end in the stream a lot. That said, during the Dam Challenge stream, we tend to just show off the works of our community, not so much how to accomplish it. See, a lot of things with like Asmodeus's guides, he often assumes you have a basic knowledge of certain things, right? And that's because people who do this all the time tend to forget what it was like when they didn't know these things when they were first learning it. You know what I mean? Jeez, Tropism. Your 60 employees all have 8 kids? It's impressive. So, Chim, tell us about this map. How long did you put into it? What was your thoughts behind this design? Yeah, no, Low Dame, I understand completely. I understand completely. I get where you're at. We kind of tend to have a firm stance on AI in the stream and in our community especially. Often distinguishing ourselves from other AI, as Dungeon Alchemist is a local procedural AI, nothing like a gen AI that uses data centers, etc. I guess one thing I would point out is not all AI is the same, and not all AI is something that is something you should repulse from. There's AI used every day in your day-to-day life. The traffic lights you drive through, algorithms that dictate the interest rates at your bank, and the things that dictate like how often you should be taking certain medicines, and or machines and algorithms that build medicines. I would say that there are AI out there that do good, definitely. But I do think as a term, it's definitely a hype word, and like a lot of CEOs are just chomping at the bit to use AI in any way, thinking it can replace their employees. I do think, AI can be used ethically and for good purpose. I personally, if AI is all about making things more efficient and saving money, I think AI should replace CEOs. Because if you look at like a business, like they're the most top heavy, expensive part of it. Like, they very little decision making or outcomes. And hey, Swedish Cook, how you doing? And like, a computer could make the decision in a fraction of the time. So did you overlay a snowflake on this before you did it, Jim? I definitely think AI doesn't need to be in everything. It's frustrating to me how AI is in our toasters and in our social media and in like every aspect of our day to day. I do think AI being used to save time and money is a good thing, but not when it's at the expense of, millions of people's jobs or, ruining the environment. Oh no, Swedish Cook, I'm so sorry. Keep it safe, bro. I hope you have backup power of some sort. Honestly, I love it. I absolutely love the design, Jim. I think you did a great job. And the trace is fantastic. I wonder if you left it in here. Nope, it's not there. Darn it. I would say pretty much the whole like board of executives, the whole C-suite could probably be replaced by AI. Most of them are not intuitive, don't come up with new ideas, and they are a huge drain on companies. Anyway, that said, I will be checking the video after the stream, Chim. Shake things up, try to change things, and like shift paradigms and save money, but it's really just about making everyone in the C-suite more money. Like, honestly, when a ship is top heavy, what happens? There is this Swiss ship called the Vasa. It was like the most insane warship of its era, right? It was essentially poising the Swiss like to be the craziest navy at the time with this ship. And it, on the inauguration, on the day it set sail, it sank because it was too top heavy. It started swaying and then sank. Is it Switzerland? I don't know if it's Switzerland or not. Just years and years ago. This is like hundreds of years ago. Hey, are we getting raided right? Oh my goodness. That's quite a raid. Hey, how you been, Gasumba? Mandy, hello. Thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. My goodness, I got to take a breath here. Hold on. Let me count all these people coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, there's too many people. I lost track. Thank you for the raid. Much appreciated, Gasumba. How you doing, buddy? Congrats again, Chim, on this lovely map. We're going to move on to the next one. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you so much for the support. Can we get a welcome to all the lovely Raiders dropping in? What? No way, Chim. I totally missed that. I'll have to check it out. Thank you, Raiders. Much appreciated. We got a couple follows in the last minute. Phantom MJ and Mech Boy 21. Thank you for the follows. Welcome to the Dam fam. Yes, the Swedish man of war, the Vasa. Basically, on its maiden voyage, it sank. And because of this, their navy was like completely shuttered. We were talking about that as you came in, Raiders. I guess what I'm pointing out is having a top-heavy ship isn't a good idea. As we learn from history, probably not a good idea to, you know, put like half of your earnings into paying one person. Just a thought. I'm good, Gasumba. Thank you for asking. Hope you're well. Wow. Just finished an AD&D 1E 2E game as part of his 46-year-old campaign. Impressive. Impressive. You basically finished D&D. What's next? Nice, fantastic. Well, thank you for the raid, my friend. Much appreciated. Hope you're well. We're looking over maps from the Dam Challenge, which is our bi-weekly map making contest. So the current contest theme was Frozen Tundra. So we had a bunch of entries kind of themed around that. So every 2 weeks we host a contest on our stream for our community members to show off their skills called the Dam Challenge. And the current theme was Frozen Tundra. And there was, I believe, 7 entries for Frozen Tundra, but a bunch of cool maps. So these maps were all made in Dungeon Alchemist, which is the channel you're on. This is our official channel. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making tool and immersion utility available on Steam. It allows you to build maps for your fantasy-based tabletop campaigns, and you can then print them or export them digitally for your digital surfaces like TV or projector tabletops, or it can be exported for virtual tabletops. We're compatible with Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, Above VTT, and many others. Hey, Belle, how are you doing? Welcome back. So, Cherry, this program is available on Steam, and we offer a free demo, so you could try it out. It allows you to use our forest biome, and you can build a tavern in the forest biome with the demo. Phantom, I get it. You know, sometimes map making programs, especially if you're short on time, it can be frustrating to learn a new tool. Dungeon Alchemist is always designed to be easy, but also have a learning curve that the more you get into it, the more you benefit. So it's easy to use, and you can jump into it and make maps in minutes. But if you spend a bit of time getting familiar with it, it's kind of like Photoshop. The more you learn, the crazier you get with the tool, and the more cool stuff you can do. That's true, Atlam. Yeah, if it's been a while, a lot of things have changed. We added roofing and multi-level. You can build above ground and underground in the same map now. So much has changed. Our next update will add full object rotation, among other things. One thing I like to do, Phantom, when I'm generating a map, for instance, when I generate rooms in Dungeon Alchemist, I like to build everything out by hand. I'm a by hand builder. I like that aspect of Dungeon Alchemist where it lets me do everything I want, right? And get all the nitpicky details. When you're generating a room, you can go into the settings and just tell it to generate with just like ceilings, floors, and walls. You then can just generate blank rooms and then fill them in with whatever you want. So it essentially just gives you a blank palette to have fun. But I could understand if it like fills things in, you're like, I don't like that or don't want it. This is a great way to avoid that. See, that's a great reason to tune into our streams. If you use Dungeon Alchemist at all, the streams are like essentially like tuning into a live course or a class. During the stream, we answer questions, we provide insight and guidance, tutorials, we showcase maps and features. So you learn a lot about the tool in a little bit of time, just hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. Cherry Blossom, Mech Boy, and Phantom NJ, thank you for the follows. Much appreciated. Let's take a closer look at this map here. Who was it that submitted this one? Kieran. Okay. Who is that in Discord? Stand by. That's Neurotic Koala. So they have a different name in our Discord. I just wanted to make sure I got them right. Let's take a look inside the structure, see what we have going on. Got a nice bedroom up here on the second floor. Ah, see, if you have a different name on Discord, Twitch, and on Steam, I have a hard time keeping track. I'm only human, right? So is that Affordable Dancing Ghost map? Fantastic. Good to know. You joined the Discord? Well, welcome to the Discord, Cherry Blossom. Oh, nice. So you're sharing. Oh, so it's a friend of yours, Luminous, right? Very cool. Don't we have one of these in wood? I thought we did. Or is it only in stone and ice? Ah, yeah, just the whole house is DA fans. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Cherry Blossom, every time I see your name, I honestly, I think it's very clever, first off. But it reminds me of that scene in The Office where, I don't know if you're a fan of it or not, but Michael is talking about getting an onion blossom when they're at like a sales meeting at a Chili's. And he's like trying to pitch to like the dude who is like the county representative who's going to be buying paper for the county. And he's there with Jan and they're at a Chili's. And he's like, would anyone like an onion blossom? Awesome blossom. I don't know why. It just reminds me of my dad. Extra awesome. Yes. That scene in particular just always gets me. It's I know it's like so annoying for some people, but it gets me every time. You know what, Tropism? I could go on for days about how much I've watched The Office over the years. It used to be my comfort show, right? So it was just left on repeat somewhere in our house. Like even when we go to bed, it'd be playing, right? The Happy Meal with extra happy. Man, looking back at Animorphs, that show was crazy deep. Like, it had a lot to it. Almost had awesome blossom coming out of my nose. So I'll go through phases, Tropism, where I have a comfort show that I just binge nonstop, right? And for a while it was Futurama, and another time it was The Office, and lately it's been Venture Brothers for me. But I have a whole bunch of shows that will just like put on and leave on for weeks at a time because there's hundreds of episodes or like tons of content. So you can just leave it on. Stargate's a great one. You could just watch Stargate for like weeks. You know, Gallivant is a show I've never watched, but I've heard good things. Heard good things. Venture Bros is peak for me. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. This is a lovely map. I really enjoy the design. Sadly, we got to move on to another map. What are those? Ice Elemental. Oh, those are cool. All right, let's move on to another one. Watchtower. Watchtower's been building a lot of watchtowers lately. He's been on brand. Very on brand. Speaking of, hey, Immortal Sprod, how you doing? Speaking of Watchtower, how have you been? I'm glad you're back in these parts making maps again, my friend. I miss your flavor of map style in our community. Hey, enjoy your food, Cherry Blossom. We'll be on for at least another hour. I love your maps, Watchtower, and I'm glad you're back and active making maps. Yes, the little footpaths. It looks trodden, if you will. Someone's living here, but who? This kind of reminds me of Osgiliath a little bit. Just a bit. Tropism, what are your favorite shows? Let's compare. Oh, Immortals Prod, that's your map? I honestly took a liking to your work this week. I found a bunch of your maps on the workshop when I was doing. So is it Fifu Meister or Fifu Meister? So I was looking through the workshop and found a bunch of your works this last week, and I gotta say I'm very impressed. The different parts of the city that you have here. Very great work. Yeah, they are great. Sorry, so the floating island city, magnificent city, east, west, north, and south, all really great. But I do my best to try and highlight community work, you know, in the newsletter and in our social media and on the streams, wherever I can. So I'll take a look at the workshop every few days I like to browse by most recent is my favorite thing to do, because often maps are, you know, there's diamonds in the rough shared in here that you might miss if you only sort by like most popular, because the most popular ones get voted up and up and up. But as you can see, you have definitely gotten the eyes of our community, as you have, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps in the top 20 maps right now. So you're definitely doing something right, I think. Keep up the good work, my friend. Looks like the south side. Oh, there's the southeast. Yep. You have 5 maps in the top 20, in the top 15 right now. So a few of those I've watched for sure. Man, I was so hyped for the Dark Crystal show on Netflix, and then they canceled it right away. Like, they put so much time and effort and money into it. Shouldn't have canceled it. They should have rode it out for a season or two. I watched the first couple seasons of Black Sails. Severance, I haven't watched. Future Man, I find hilarious, actually. Josh Futterman is hilarious. Future Man should have just kept going. It was a great show. Not only the Dark Crystal movie, but like the Dark Crystal series was so good. It was the first like major puppeted show in like a decade, it felt like. You don't like season 2 and 3? I enjoy it. I like the whole series, but I could see how it slowly dropped off. So the Skeksis in Dark Crystal, they're like aliens, right? They're from another planet, and then they took over their planet and then subjugated like all the people there, right? But I don't know if any of you are Farscape fans, another sci-fi show, but Jim Henson's like puppeteers did a lot of the work in Farscape. And they reused the Skeksis puppets in one of the episodes. Zach, my man, you were lurking and you come out when I start talking about Skeksis. How you doing, my friend? But in one of the episodes, there is like several Skeksis puppets that are like aliens. And so it loosely ties the Dark Crystal universe to the Farscape universe. Technically, they're in the same canon. I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking, Zach. Glad you're here, my friend. I love the map you shared earlier on Reddit. Let's take a closer look at the inside of this Watchtower by Watchtower. I'm a big Farscape fan, a big Stargate fan, and in one particular, well, I mean, there's a lot of crossover between the Stargate and like Farscape universe because several of the actors became like main actors in Stargate in the later seasons. But like the episode 200 where they do like all the skits and stuff, and then Vala pitches an idea of a show that's basically Farscape. And it shows like all of the Stargate actors as different people in the Stargate show, whereas Vala reprises her role in Farscape, but Crichton is not the same person. It's just super funny. I don't know if anyone knows this joke, but there's like episode 200 of Stargate SG-1 was just like a fun fanfare episode. And they did a bunch of different skits. Yeah, they did puppets going through portals. They did a skit where it was like essentially all of the actors in Stargate were people in Farscape. Yeah, it's probably one of the best episodes. And to be honest with you, I always laugh when I watch it. But like who is it? So Carter is Chiana, right? Teal'c is Dargo. Like, and then they have Thor, the Asgardian, as Rigel. At the very end of the skit, it just shows Thor as Rigel. He looks at the camera and he goes, "Yachts." That gets me every time. Makes me laugh. Yachts. Ah, a facade. The end of the world. I honestly really enjoy facade maps, so I appreciate you doing this. Not enough maps are facades where it's like, because you're in you're playing a game of make-believe with your players. Like, they don't need a fully immersive environment that they can walk through 100% of it all the time. Or it could be several maps linked together, and that's a great use case for something like this. This is just the entry to the entire area. Peripheral egress. I like it. This could easily lead into a mountain, a larger base, you know, any number of, or it could just be an entry point to a kingdom, like a valley beyond this. You know, there's a reason Hollywood does that. It's effective. I really like it, Watchtower. By the way, keep up the work. I want to see a whole run of Watchtowers. I'm holding you to it. I'm kidding you. Nice little use of the floor above. I mean, you've been on a bit of a kick lately with Watchtowers, so I figure you might as well encourage your artistic flair. I love it. This is great. Fantastic work, my friend. On to the next map. Highland Lass, she forgot to share the link to our map, but since it was on the workshop already, I will feature it. I don't know if she accidentally didn't post it or anything, but she added it later, edited it, so we'll allow her to see her work showcased. But a reminder to everyone, please, when you're submitting your maps for the dam challenge, please include not only the dam file, but a link to the map shared on the workshop. The reason we do that is so everyone can look at your map. Not everyone participates in our Discord, whereas everyone who owns a copy of Dungeon Alchemist likely has checked out the workshop. So we try our best to, make sure that the dam challenge is inclusive to everyone in our community. One of that's the reason we ask that the maps are uploaded to the workshop. So when you enter, make sure you share not only the dam file and some images in the description, but make sure you upload the map to the workshop and share the link for that. Oh my gosh, it's D&D Day tomorrow. I'm very excited. And I spoke with my DM, and he is going to let me change my class. My subclass, I mean, not my class. I've been a divination wizard for, 7 levels, and I feel like my portents have become disruptive. So I asked, I don't know, we play online 100%, and portent's like one of those things you have to call out before someone rolls, right? And online, it's really hard to anticipate when people are gonna roll. I've found it very frustrating, and I often bring our gameplay to a halt by screaming portent. I'll be like, portent! So I could get a portent in, because I ask people to tell me if they want to use it, but also I try to remind people of it. But the thing is, I got to do it before they roll, not after. And when you're online, like, I can't see someone grabbing their dice and going to roll, so it often gets messed up by that. So that, and it was just bringing our gameplay to a halt, like a lot of times. So we assume guidance is just like always on, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. But that being said, or I have dark vision. But anyway, with portents, I felt like I was disrupting more than I was helping. So I asked the DM if I could change my subclass. I was going to change at my ASI, which is next level, which you can do normally, but he said it was cool if I changed now because he understands my concerns and my frustrations. So I was considering a Chronergy wizard, because that's essentially a div wizard with less interruption, because it's after the fact you can do it, right? But I was looking at the Order of the Scribes wizard, and it just spoke to me. So I'm going to be an Order of the Scribes wizard for the foreseeable future, dropping my divination path, which I can still manipulate a lot. I still have the luck trait. I still have luck as a halfling and the luck feat. I still have cartomancer. I still have guidance, and I still have silvery barbs and a whole bunch of things. The only thing I no longer have is portent. But I did get an item last session called the Wand of Fates, which essentially allows me to change the outcome of 2 different like rolls a day, kind of like a portent. So it's essentially more like the chronergy version of it, where you do it after the fact. So you can make a success a failure or a failure a success. So, hey, to each their own, Phantom. Honestly, the reason I enjoy 5e is just because I feel like it's very approachable for many different people. Like, at the end of the day, you know, I think 5e is the reason D&D has gotten so popular. Like, it's a system that's so easy to learn, right? And the digital tools are fantastic. Finally, digital tools that are, you know, readily available. It's been an arms race of digital tools for tabletop gaming the last 10 years or so. You know, Atlam, I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't a serious contest. So I mean, the rules, yes, I like them to be adhered, but as long as someone gets their link added, like if they edit the message before the stream and it gives me a time to judge it, I'm okay with it. They obviously posted, they just made a mistake in their posting. But yeah, like the rules are, hey, you need to follow these to qualify. So as long as the rules are followed before the stream goes live, I'm usually pretty flexible. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? I usually judge the maps like late night, the night before or the morning of. So if I sit down in the morning and someone has edited their message to include a part of the entry that they forgot or edited their entry, I'm not gonna, you know, throw a fit over it. I'm very, very flexible when it comes to our community. Can you give some examples, Phantom, of the things that kept cropping up? I'd love to hear your take on this. Ooh, love the lighting in here. Ah, my character's too big. 1 second. We need to make the devs shrink all tokens by like 30% so they'll fit in staircases. I like this chair so you can just see out over your lands. You know, D&D and like 5e in self-contained adventures is definitely a point of where it excels. NJ. Is NJ for New Jersey? Just want to, I'm speculating. I assume that's the case. You know, Sack, to each their own. When it comes to playing, like, you're supposed to be having fun, right? And if you're not enjoying your character when you're playing, then there's no point. You know, some of us sit down to D&D and they just want to thwack things. You know, they just want to hit stuff and call it a day. Others, like me, are like kind of min-maxers who like to optimize the crap out of our characters In my downtime, which was 3 days, I learned 6 spells. So, you know, whatever. Everybody plays differently, and I think, you know, it's good to find a good group that is into your play styles as a group, as a, you know, as a unit, but also a DM that vibes with how the group plays. I love this view. So essentially, you felt like you had to metagame against their characters, which isn't something a DM should be doing per se, because it's not like the enemies would have like the skinny on their abilities and be able to adapt to them preemptively. But you had to do that to make it challenging to them because the players were clever and adaptable. So I agree. You know, it can become frustrating when it comes to that. At least for me as a DM, I often, when I find that they're chewing through challenges or encounters too quickly, I will up the amount of mobs, throw in a few that they can just squash. Here's the thing too. There's going to be points in the campaign, in any campaign, when your characters, your players feel powerful. Like when they level up, they should feel powerful for a bit and get some good kills in, get some good action. They shouldn't feel like as soon as they level up, everything's more powerful than them. I think in video games, when they do that, that's bad video game design. That's the same thing in D&D. So I do think you know, at the end of the day, if your DM style, it's frustrating for you to try and make an encounter that's challenging for these players. An older system or a different system might be best. You know, some of those other systems are more challenging. I can agree. I think one thing that 5e does poor on is when there is so many turns, it doesn't really get, there's, other than like group actions, they don't really speed things up, and it becomes very, very, very tedious. Late game D&D can become very, 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 very tedious if it's not done correctly. Or I mean 5e at least. And yeah, Anani, I agree. Like, table chemistry is important. And it's not like that person was a bad player. They just wanted a more serious game. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, they just need to find a table that vibes with their play style. You know, Phantom, that is something that a lot of DMs run into. You know, you where's that balance between the party feels like they're super powerful and you accidentally TPK them. You know, that I've kind of given full control to the dice. I think as DMs particularly, we love to control the narrative as much as we can, or like the story, and like, you know, set up the map and the gameplay and like the way we have it in our mind's eye, right? And letting the dice tell the story, when I just kind of let go and just let the dice tell the story, is when I started having the most fun as both a DM and a player. You didn't find the underground room, Chim? It's a neat one. What's in the chest? What's in the box? I don't know. Let's go check. Gold! Look at all them doubloons. We're rich, boys. Are you sure you want to do that, right, Phantom? Are you sure that's what you want to do? Highland Lass, this map is very, very beautiful. Very well done. Thank you for sharing. And I'm glad you were able to get the link shared, because I feel like the community would have missed out had we not been able to see this map. Hello, Moon. My party isn't paranoid about mimics yet because we haven't run into one. So anytime we see a chest, everyone's just bright-eyed. Like kids in a candy shop. In all my time playing D&D, I've only fought 2 mimics and 2 gelatinous cubes. Right, Phantom. Honestly, we have to agree on one thing, that the biggest enemies of the player's time is chests and doors. Oh, sweet. This is the sunken ship you were talking about, Tropism? Very cool. It's a ghost ship. Dungeon Roombas? You mean gelatinous cubes? I've never heard them called Dungeon Roombas, and that's hilarious, actually. That's a pretty good one. All right, on to the next map. Let's take a look at this outside, though. Dragon's Rest. Very cool. Thank you, Highlands Last, for sharing. On to Sailor Yugoth's map. Moving City. Traction City. A moving city making its way through the snowy wasteland. So, kind of like Snowpiercer meets Mortal Engines. They clean up the dungeon with the cleaning power of acid. Does a rust monster still destroy magical gear? I've never encountered one myself. Or is it just normal gear? One of my favorite things about tropism maps. Well, how about in your version that you play, NJ? Destroys gear and rust coating projects. No! So one thing I love about Tropism's maps is he always like kit batches to the extreme and makes these cool, like, massive cityscapes that are actually like forced perspective. Because if you turn on the grid, this is a really small city if you think about it, but there's hundreds of houses packed in here, so technically it's not a really small city. It's just according to the grid. Or no, not Tropism. Sorry, not Tropism. My bad. Why? This is Sailor Yugoth. My bad. I am so tired. Sailor Yugoth, not Tropism. Sailor Yugoth. I did this last stream too. What is wrong with me? Ah! Let me fix this. This is Sailor Yugoth's map. My bad. Thank you for fixing me there, guys and gals. My bad. But it does have like Frostpunk vibes. And like I said, it's like Mortal Engines meets Snowpiercer. So I don't know what it is. So Sailor Yugoth hasn't posted maps for like months and then started posting a few weeks ago. And for some reason, I got them and Tropism mixed up last stream, and then it happened again this stream. But yeah, who wouldn't want to take credit for this map? It's dope. You've got some biodomes. That's where the squirrel from SpongeBob is at. Sandy, right? But look at this. It's like a whole city. This is like Zedanga. Which, you know, might be a bit of a niche reference if you're not a fan of Princess of Mars. So each of these are all war table houses that were just crammed in. So the creator just disabled collisions and started bashing objects together. So they likely made this platform first, which it looks like it's a few of these drilling rigs mashed together. And then you see here, there's, what is this? It looks like a heli-poly or some kind of crossbow, siege ballista. But Sailor Yugoth has this amazing eye that they can kit bash like crazy and make these insane builds like this. But each of these are like essentially a dollhouse size object. They're war table houses, which are meant to be little houses on a big table where you show off like your war plans. Huh. Let's find out. Looks like sci-fi floor dark metal. Combination of stuff. Speaking of themes, we need to start coming up with a theme for our next dam challenge. So if y'all have suggestions, ideas for our next map making contest, please suggest 1 to 2 word themes so we can start coming up with one. Is that your floor? Oh, what's this one here? Floor 2, V1. This thing looks epic. To the bath? Yeah, there's a tub in there and a bunch of these just drills. That's great. Like, this is so amazing. The water supply. But yeah, the politics of a place like this have to be nuts because their supplies are probably limited. Like, they grow everything they need in these 2 biodomes and then probably scavenge ice for water. But like, could you imagine the fuel requirements to keep a place like this running? Like, it would be magic users all hours of the day casting to try and keep this place running. And I imagine they probably have slaves. Like, this is a huge city. Like, oh my gosh. It's insane. Oh my, the ongoing repairs would be nuts, Anani. A moving city? Psh. The power requirements and the maintenance requirements would be insane. I like this map, though. Okay, next is tropism for real this time. So, the Enclave from Fallout, basically. It does kind of give off like a post-apocalyptic vibe, for sure. Could be like the oil rig from what is it, Waterworld, or not the oil rig, the oil ship. Like any number of like societies that creep up in these post-apocalyptic movies. Sylvan Glade. Interesting. New theme tower. Tropism is all about that geometry. Always putting all these little objects together to make these cool little patterns on the sides. Look at the stacking of these cubes. I feel like I'm in like a Tron like setting all of a sudden. I don't know if I'll be able to run it, Anani. I think the awesome blossom that you have here of ice cubes is my favorite. Low dusk, yeah, definitely. Are you making a suggestion for the next challenge, or are you saying this is a magic tower? Because it definitely gives off those vibes. Oh, Anani. So what are the specs of your new computer, my friend? Let's hear them. No, it does definitely low dusk. It definitely has that vibe to it for sure. Tropism's builds are always super mind-bending. Lots of by-hand work. Individual placement of objects, one at a time. Which takes a lot of time. I imagine this map probably took, 10 to 20 hours to build. Let's ask the maker. Ooh, look at that swirl of ice cubes. 60 hours? Oh my goodness. In the last 2 weeks, our friend has almost put 2 full work weeks into this map. This is brilliant, though. Absolutely brilliant work. Revan, that's a good point. Remember, our maps export in a top down and they export as layers. So you can always view it as like a top down, hey, this is the whole environment, right? But then you can go down through the layers, which peel away different portions. But that said, when you make maps for the Dam Challenge, they often aren't necessarily about gameplay. It's an artistic choice sometimes to make a map that looks a certain way. So these maps that are being shared on the stream today, they're all part of a bi-weekly map making contest we have called the Dam Challenge. So the maps in them aren't always necessarily designed around encounters, but more around like artistic choice and what is possible with the tool. So some of them may not be practical for gameplay, while others are fantastic for it. Sailor Yugoth, by the way, I absolutely loved your map. Absolutely loved it. Good little cross. It got that Mortal Engines meets Snowpiercer vibe going on, for sure. Very cool. Very cool. Sounds like a nice build there, my friend. Sailor Yugoth, I gotta ask you a question. I've always wondered, is the Sailor in your name because you're a fan of sailing, or is it because you're a fan of Sailor Moon? Or is it something else entirely? I was right. I knew, I kind of had a vibe it was a Sailor Moon tie-in. Goodness, this thing is epic. The suspended... That's beautiful. By the way, Tropism, I noticed that you gave credit to Mrs. Mac for this asset, and this one wasn't actually created by Mrs. Mac. This was created, I believe, by Aiko on our art team. I was the one who uploaded it just simply because it saved time, and we were doing a giveaway at the same time, so it was themed around it. So anyway, but yeah, I just want to make sure credit goes where credit is due. My bad there. Pretty much all the other assets I've uploaded were made by Mrs. Mac. This is the one exception. Hey, Low Dusk, thank you for that follow, by the way. Much appreciated. Yeah, Aiko's fantastic. Look at that little king right there. Just vibing. Living his best life. On his floating chair. Yeah, let's get some suggestions, people. Yeah, Tower was a suggestion as well, Atlam. Let's go on to Luminous's map. Is May flowers a suggestion, Belle? April showers bring May flowers. Look, we got a polar bear. No, earlier Swedish Cook said tower. He was the first suggestion made. And we got some reindeer and some snow hares and a pack of wolves. Clearly they're chasing the weakest in the pack of the reindeer there. Got some seals. And some happy feets. I mean, penguins. Did y'all see the final picture of the gardens that I uploaded earlier? Ooh, snow leopards. Dang. Of course you do, random ladybird. I do like this one as well. It's simple, but it shows like a very diverse biome. You know, often like tundra and desert biomes are overlooked and people think there's not a lot of life, but they are rich with life. And looking at this, the design from, is it Luminous that made this one? I think it's beautiful. A lot of diversity in this build. A nice simple layout. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice the birds. What do we got here? Is that a snow owl? Some goats. Mountain goats or ibex, I guess. The snow leopards look great. Right? Like you're at a museum when you push it and it's like, the Tundra ibex is, and it talks to you and tells you all about it. Did I? Oh, right here. The Arctic snow fox. You need it in that pose where it jumps. Have you seen that where Arctic foxes will like jump and dive into the snow? This looks really cool though. Very cool. The action poses are great. So Luminous, how are you making your assets? So the Meshy AI? Yeah, Chim in our community also uses that. She just made a tutorial for it, actually. It's quite extensive. This is very cool. Fantastic work, Luminous. Might I suggest one thing, though? This really gives it that sort of like never-ending daytime that you get in the kind of polar regions. Hey, Mondu, welcome back. You know, there was a penguin that swam all the way to Brazil. There was a dude who found an injured penguin on the beach in Brazil, nurtured it back to life, and then, like, was his homie. And then he let it go, and then every year it just swims away and disappears for, like, 9 months and then comes back. So I imagine penguins could migrate if they were motivated enough. But that said, fantasy map doesn't matter. Not based on the real world. Let's open up. Oh, that was the last one. Final map. Wow. Fantastic entries this time around. Thank you, everyone that participated in the Dam Challenge. Let's pull up our winning map while we discuss our themes and pick our next Dam Challenge. Oh. So, what are the suggestions thus far, Atlam? Can you drop the list? Is private among them? Are you talking about the Madagascar penguins? Private? You know, I didn't necessarily... It wasn't a show I would have watched because I was older, but my kid freaking loved Madagascar when he was little, so we'd watch that a bit. It was Kowalski, status report. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Let's do it. Let's make it wintry. It definitely gives it that cold feeling. A little bit of light can go a long way to really set the mood in a map, I've noticed. You did indeed miss it. Hers was like 2 towers next to each other, connected with a cool, like, astral bridge. Any of you see the pictures I shared of my garden boxes that I built over the last few weeks? No worries, Atlam, it happens. So far, Rusted, Hollow Springs, Sylvan Glade, Tower, Mayflowers, Elven Forest. Is Elven Forest and Sylvan Glade basically the same thing said differently? I just want to make sure. We're cool with both entries. You want some, please? Yeah, so we have yard flags, and my wife, like, I have a big bag of yard flags that I got years ago because, like, anytime there was a problem in our yard, like our sprinkling was leaking, or, you know, there was a weed, like an area that was just like, I wanted my son to pick up the trash or pull the weeds, we use the yard flags, so we mark things with them, right? Like, they do them for utilities and stuff, but she uses them. She just wrote what each patch was. So on those flags, it says the name of what's by them. So she was just being clever, reusing what we already had. Ah, gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough, Alum. Speaking of Mondu, by the way, in chat, Mondu is going to be our guest next Saturday. Are you excited, Mondu, to be on the stream, be in the hot seat? He's sweating already. I can pop some seeds in an envelope and send them your way. I could send you the plans if you want. I could write down the cut list and send it to you. Oh my goodness, though. I've been so grateful to my grandfather giving me like his miter saw. It's like a radial arm saw. And he gave me like some circular saws, a router, like a bunch of sanders, a bunch of different tools, but that saw I have used so much in the last year, because I was able to build workbenches using that saw, and now the workbenches allow me to perpetuate other crafts. I built, let's see here, an 8-tote storage rack with wheels on it, 2 workbenches, actually 3 workbenches. One of them is a custom craft bench for my wife. The other 2 are like workbenches. And then these garden beds. Fair enough, Zach. It's not everyone's favorite material to work with, and the more I've used it, the more I love it. Like, I grew up in a cabinet shop. My dad was a carpenter, but he didn't teach me anything because I was young at the time. Like, didn't really teach me much of anything in his shop, and didn't pass any of his tools on to me because his second wife kept everything and sold it, and when he passed away, like... Anyway, long story short, like, I didn't learn anything from him, even though he was like an expert finish carpenter. So I've been trying to teach myself, like, over the last couple years, and it's been a process, but it's fun. Don't you have a yard, a garden, your backyard, right, Sack? People will put those saws right on the background, like on the ground, and use them. That's how I built my workbench. I didn't have any space other than my driveway, and I just laid the saw down on the ground and cut everything there. You know, I want to go visit, but I don't know if I will this year. Combination of things. So last year when I went, like, I brought back COVID, and I got my wife sick and my son sick, and obviously I got sick, and that was the first time we got COVID ever in the last like 8 years, 6-8 years. And my wife is incredibly immunocompromised, and it basically laid her up for the better part of a month and a half, and she had a really bad fever for a few days. We were like considering going to the ER. It was really rough. So it was fun seeing my grandfather, but at the same time, I just don't know if the cost with it was worth it. And by that, I don't mean the actual money cost. I mean getting sick, you know? Hey, see you later, Watchtower. Hey, Highland Lass. I really enjoyed your map, and thank you for getting the link up. How is your day going? Okay, so we've got all those themes. Let's pick one. Let's start voting, everyone. Can you put the themes back up again one more time, Atlam, and then we'll start voting? No worries. Thank you for getting it there before the stream went live. So, everyone, you see the suggestions from Atlam. Let's try and vote so we can get one that is a leader of the pack, so we can set that as our theme for our next dam challenge. Oh, excuse me. I might have to step away for a minute. I'm sorry to hear that, Highland Lass. That's the worst. I am so sorry for your loss. Gotta pick one, Asmodeus. I feel like Tower would yield a lot of interesting results for the theme, so I'm going to vote Tower. Ugh. D&D day tomorrow, which means Monday I'll be filling y'all in with what happened. Little storytelling day Monday morning, so make sure you tune in. I also changed my subclass. If you weren't here earlier, we were talking about it. I'm no longer a div wizard. I am now a scribes wizard for the interim. I'm going to try it out for a bit, see how it goes. Ugh. Well, that's quite the troll, voting for blank. Oh, man, I am so sore and sunburnt. Oh my goodness. Got a bit of sunburn on the back of my neck and shoulders and scalp. So you have a birthday coming up too, Highland Lass? Well, happy birthday to you. And again, I am so sorry for your loss. I can't even imagine what it'd be like if I lost my cat. I would be devastated. So I'm so sorry for your loss. And, if you need someone to talk to, feel free to hit me up. I also voted for Tower Atlam, if you didn't catch that. Yeah, the Luminous' map was really cool as a diorama, particularly. It reminded me of like being at a museum or something, where you'd push the button and then it would like narrate the environment to you, or you'd link your phone up and it would say it through your headphones or whatever. Hey, random ladybird, are you still here? I mean, it still hurts, What a beaut. Who was narrating it? Here we see the snow leopard in its natural environment. What a beaut. So, random ladybird, I've been forgetting to tell you this. So, forever ago, we discussed how my wife knew of something that attracts dragonflies. Remember, we discussed this when you were interviewed a few weeks back? Hey, see you later, Highland Lass. So it's called BioSilk hair oil. So we discovered years ago, my wife used to wear this stuff, and we'd be out like on the lake or hiking, and all of a sudden dragonflies would come out of nowhere and like just land in her hair and like fly around her and hang out. Like they'd just be attracted to her. And we were trying to figure it out, and over a bit of trial and error, we figured it out. It was this stuff she puts in her hair, and it's called BioSilk hair oil. But basically, I don't know what it is, but the scent, I'm assuming, attracts them. That said, I've been seeing a lot of dragonflies around my house lately, and I'm hoping that's a sign of things to come. Like, I've been cleaning up my yard, trimming up my trees, getting everything all nice, setting up these garden boxes. Like, I want my yard to be, like, very conducive to, like, bugs and birds this year. There was a hummingbird flying around while I was doing my woodshop projects the other day. It would come into the garage, float around by me, fly out. I come to find out there's a satellite dish mounted on my neighbor's house that I can see from my garage like driveway, and there's a nest in the like hardware of the satellite dish, and that's where the hummingbird is living. I thought it was really cool. Basically, I'm a big fan of animals that can Yeah, the missus made sure our garden beds have lots of flowers in them. Like we're doing lots of edible flowers and flowers that like keep away pests. But we're hoping to get lots of pollinators. You know what I mean? We've already started seeing butterflies. Oh, for sure. They're very territorial. I actually like recognize hummingbird chirps now because they're very prevalent in my neighborhood and in my yard, because we have like 2 plants with hummingbird vine and a tree with tons of like flowers on it, so they just are constantly there. But when it rains, like if it rains all day, I'll watch and wait for the rain to break, because the hummingbirds will be starving waiting for the rain to break, and then the tree will just have tons of them on it, like hundreds, and they're cooperating because they're too hungry to care about fighting with each other. But you only see it after a big rain. It doesn't happen often. Dude, you got crows giving you gifts? If you got corvids giving you gifts, that's dope. Gotta train them to bring you money, bro. Get some coin. I really like flying through this, Chim. I don't know why. It's just fun. Yeah, there are like tutorials on how to teach corvids how to give you like gifts. Like training mechanisms for them. But hummingbirds and dragonflies are 2 of my like favorite like animals because they got that hover mechanic, you know? I don't know why, they're just dope. They're really cool. Dragonflies seem so alien on our planet, and so do hummingbirds. They just don't fit in with anything else. They look so different. Alrighty. So is Tower the winner? Is Tower the standout? You understand the urge? Yeah, I do feel like I'm in an X-wing for some reason. So it's right. It just feels right. Thank you, Jim. I'll use the force, okay? TIE Fighter was dope too back in the day. Those games are really good. X-Wing and TIE Fighter, both good games. Tropism, have you ever watched Psych? Wondering if it's a show that you and I have in common. Feywild Festival would be dope too. It's a good show. You should check it out. It's basically, okay, so there's a lot of cop shows, right? But this one is very unique in that it's not about a cop. It's about a psychic detective who is like a freelance psychic detective for the Santa Barbara PD. And he is really not psychic. He just pretends to be, so he can get away with doing his random shenanigans. But anyway, it's a great show. It ran for like 8 seasons and a movie or 2. Yeah, it's very fun, very funny, and I think it's one of those shows that like it's one of the last great TV shows before TV as a medium is like, dying. Very funny though. Yeah, anyone with last minute votes. Hey, Mondu, you were right. The sandstone was carrying on this, turning it into the snowstone. Oh, yeah, Random Ladybird. We talked about it before when we were talking about detective shows, huh? I forgot about that conversation. I actually just had a rewatch of it. The missus and I watch it like once a year. It's a really good show. One of our favorites. I'm going to leave it aimed at the moon here, but we got to get a good shot of the castle with the moon. Yes. Yes. That's epic. Watching The Rookie. Isn't that the one with Nathan Fillion as a cop? I might check it out just because I'm a Fillion fan. Did y'all hear that there is talks about a Firefly revival? He was just spearheading him and all the cast were just spearheading something for it, like a month or so ago. And they're likely pushing for an animated series. Because at this point, them acting it probably would just not be that great anymore. It's probably a good idea to not, but that, and they're missing a lot of, critical people. But they said it would be an animated series, which I'm all for. I think continuing the story as an animated series would work well because all of them could contribute to the series on their own terms and time. And they did a run of comics after the show, and it was really good. The comics did really well. So I feel like an animated show could do well. Oh, yeah. Well, the guild, they're discussing about trying to raise funding for the guild. That's another thing that's also getting a revival. Yeah, she just announced the other day that they're looking to try and get together funds or do a Kickstarter or something for it, right? Yeah, but I mean, now most of the actors in that show in Firefly are pushing, their late 50s. It just seems weird for Mal to be still against the grain, rough, space pirate in his late 50s. I don't know. It would also seem weird that they're all still a crew together after all this time. All of them had good upward trajectory on their own for other paths. Mal seemed to be kind of chained to his own destiny and his own ship, right? But every one of his crewmates, save Jane, probably, had good potential upward mobility. Yeah, Jane was a hero to one group of people, but yeah, we obviously have some Jane fans here. The hero of Canton, okay? But I feel like out of everyone, Mal, it makes sense that he's still this gruff, kind of space pirate captain, but I don't see Inara continuing her role with the Firefly over those years, especially after separating from them, leading into Serenity. And then obviously Book, the actor's dead, and he was also killed off in the show. So was Wash. Zoe is probably tied to Mal intrinsically now because she's trauma bonded with him and her husband's dead. They're going to be together forever hanging out. Heck, they might even get married someday. Who knows? But I see Simon, I see River, I see all these people. They could go off and have rich, full lives, especially after River's secret was outed and she wasn't a threat anymore. I don't know. Is it supposed to be before? Oh, it's supposed to be a prequel? Interesting. I didn't know that. There is a gap of time between the series and the movie that you fill it in yourself, right? Like Anara obviously left the group. I always kind of secretly hoped, like, I saw the chemistry between Malcolm and Zoe, but obviously they were soldiers, so they couldn't, right? When they were friends and trauma bonded because of their, he was her superior. And then kind of like how in Stargate, right? Like Jack and Carter. But then, she got married and was happy. Her and Wash were really good together. And to be honest with you, like, I don't see her ever marrying again. Screw that. I'm gonna live. You mean... Yeah, Kaylee's super funny. That scene in particular was great. I think the only one of them not acting anymore is Simon. I don't see him in anything anymore at all. Like, I haven't seen him in anything in years. So I remember seeing Serenity before I saw Firefly. I was friends with this guy and he was like, man, I'm going to go see this movie this weekend. You want to come with me? It's called Serenity. It's this space movie and it's based off this TV show I like called Firefly. I was like, I never heard of it, but hey, I'm doing nothing. Let's go watch it. Went and saw it. Absolutely loved it. And I went to work the next day. I worked at Best Buy and we had the box set for Firefly sitting on the shelf. So I snagged it up. And I started watching it and then watched it all in a day and then got depressed because there was no more. Like, I think every Firefly fan hits that wall at some point or that ceiling where you like love this show and then there's no more. This had to have been like maybe 2005, 2006 at the time. I always aim to misbehave. Like, what's crazy about Firefly is the actor who has gotten the craziest trajectory of an actor of any person in that show is someone who had a bit part and it was like a throwaway tiny part. So yeah, Tower's the winner. We're going to go with Tower. Cool. We'll put it up. So who do you think has gotten the biggest, like, in Hollywood since they're acting in Firefly? I'll let you all pick for a minute. Vote. Who do you think has gotten the absolute, like, best career trajectory since Firefly? I mean, so was Alan, and so was him and Jane were all in they were in Halo and they were in ODST, both of them. They were kind of like, their characters would say random lines that were like Easter eggs at times. There was a line where Jane would say hello to Vera, like when he was shooting like a minigun. It was pretty cool, actually. So actually, the actor who has gotten the craziest trajectory. Oh, and Nathan actually his character became a Spartan. Buck is his name, if I'm not mistaken. So he was one of the first ODST soldiers to become a Spartan later on, because they finally, basically, the first Spartans, they churned them from young kids. They had to augment them when they were young to make it work. And then later on, the Spartans anybody could volunteer to become a Spartan, because the surgeries and the techniques had been perfected. But Buck was a grown man and an ODST, and he'd been featured as a soldier multiple times in the older games, ODST and like Halo 2 and 3. And then he became a Spartan. But anyway, the person who's had the biggest trajectory since Firefly, this will blow your minds. It's none of the main cast and crew. It's Zac Efron. Hey, see you, Luminous. Thank you, man. Your map was fantastic. Zac Efron played young Simon. He has had the absolute craziest trajectory from that show. Nathan, as big as he is, he's still a TV actor. He's really not a movie actor. And that's the thing. Zac Efron is done TV all the way up through movies. That's all I'm going to say. No, he's been doing a lot of movies lately. Has he been a star in the movie, though? He's been a side character in all these movies. I love Nathan Fillion. I was Nathan for Hal Jordan in the DC universe like years ago. Trust me, like I'm all for Nathan having a better trajectory, but he's not been the star of a movie. That's what I'm saying. Like, he is a great actor, and I definitely don't appreciate Zac Efron as an actor compared to Nathan Fillion, but you got to agree with me that Zac Efron has been in like dozens of movies. He is... Yeah, Morena Baccarin for sure. She has been in a few. She's in the Deadpool movies. Yet again, not the main actor, though. She's not the lead. You can't just lie to yourself. You know what, Bane? I'll let you have it. It is frustrating to think that Zac Efron is the most popular actor out of all of the Firefly actors. Trust me, it is frustrating as a fan, but it's the truth. He has like the highest net worth and the craziest amount of film bills out of all of them. Tudyk's had a great career. Fillion's had a great career. They've all had great careers. Tudyk is the pirate, bro, in Dodgeball. Holy cow. Like, they're all great actors. That's not up for debate. They're all great. That's why the show was so good, right? There's a reason Firefly is so beloved. Like, to this day. But I do think that, man, I wish Nathan would have some big Bill movies where he was the lead. Yep, he also is the prince in Frozen, right? Duke Wesselton or whatever in Frozen. No, but that would be amazing to see Star Trek interview Firefly. Interesting. Did you know that the Firefly set was one continuous piece? The entire ship was one solid set. So the cuts where they like walk from one end to the other are solid one cuts for that reason. But the set itself was a one-of-a-kind sci-fi set. Most sci-fi sets were like a couple of rooms for the ship, right? Not one huge ship. Dropping names. That's a perfect name for that podcast, actually. Jonathan Frakes. What was that show he hosted for years where he was like, it was like a mysterious mysteries type show where he like shows people all these random things that happen around the planet. What was that show called? But he would just, I don't know, there's like a super cut of him like asking people questions to like, yes, all the random questions in it. Yes, asking all the random questions, but it's like me as a DM is the super cut, and it's like Jonathan Frakes asking a ton of, it's like all the questions you ask your players randomly, or things you could say on a stream to keep the stream going, or any number of things. Like, have you ever felt a weird tingle in the back of your neck? Beyond Belief, that's the show. But yes, the YouTube videos, Jonathan Frakes interrogates you with nonsense. But it like that scene of him just constantly asking questions, that's how I feel like when I'm streaming sometimes, like trying to keep the conversation going. It's like I'll just be saying random things, or how I feel when I'm DMing. Josh Brolin used to host that show? Wow. Josh Brolin, honestly, before No Country with Old Men, or No Country for Old Men, his career had kind of sputtered out, and he'd become not very memorable, you know, compared to his dad or his mom, who were like very influential. And, you know, like he'd had some good roles, like in Goonies, he was, you know, but that was like one of his biggest roles. No Country for Old Men rolls around, his career blows up after. He's getting oh, am I getting the Brolins mixed up? Maybe. Was it his dad that hosted it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who hosted it. It's Atlam telling me this factoid. Josh's dad. Ah, gotcha. That actually makes sense, because that seems like the kind of role he would have. Oh, it's blown up. I mean, Thanos alone set him for life, likely. All right. I gotta say, everyone, it's been an absolutely fantastic stream today. I had a lot of fun. Congrats again to Chim on this fantastic build. The Snowshine Shrine. Again, say that 10 times fast, everyone, I dare you. Absolutely phenomenal build. Great work. Congratulations, Chim. I will be sending you your prize sometime before Monday, end of day. Our next theme is Tower. Using Tower as inspiration, make a map of any shape or size. Submit that map to the Dam Challenge channel before the end of day on the 15th of May. Excuse me. Let's see here. Tower of Power. You are not allowed in my tower. Honestly, like, I think, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, he was big. Like, you know, movies like Terminator obviously cemented his career as, like, this action film star. But I do think Kindergarten Cop, like, really showed off his, like, ability to just be, like, a normal actor. And I love that film. Like, I've always loved Kindergarten Cop. I don't know why, I've just enjoyed it. Ooh. I mean, Conan was good. Don't get me wrong. All hail Crom and stuff, but, like, it's not a tumor. Twins. I loved him as a comedy actor as well. And Last Action Hero, Twins. Yeah, exactly. I actually really loved Jingle All the Way as well. Even though it's panned and not very loved, I love Jingle All the Way. It's one of my favorite holiday films. Can we just say the original Running Man movie is way better? And Running Man was essentially the inspiration for games like Smash TV, or was it Smash TV was the inspiration for Running Man? Uh-oh. Running Man came before Smash TV. Good to know. Smash TV is such a good game. I love that growing up. I have it still for my SNES. If I feel like making my hands hurt and, like, not winning at something, I'll play Smash TV. I don't think I've ever beaten that game in 30 years. It is a hard game. I think I only ever beat the game once, and they re-released it on the Xbox 360, and they had cheat modes that you could, like, live forever. They had cheat codes on the Super Nintendo too, so you could just kind of keep continuing and stuff. But yeah, I never won it legitimately. That's when games for the console were designed by people who made arcade games. So arcade games were designed to take your quarters and be ruthless about it. They wanted your money, and they didn't care how they got it. So they made it hard to beat the game. Nowadays, like, most games are designed to be easier to play and understand. If they're not, they're, like, panned, you know. Dragon Slayer. Oh, man. Such a good game. You know, if I feel like I hate myself enough, maybe I'll play some Smash TV. It's a good game, but it's like one of those games that it's really, you have to be in a mood to hurt yourself, like, mentally, to beat it, like, to play it, because you won't beat it. Like, it gets harder and harder and harder, and, like, oh my gosh. And it's a perfect satirization of, like, the media at the time, and, like, game shows, and yeah, stuff like Running Man. Like, the prizes in the game, you'd win, like, 1,000,000-inch TVs. Like, who needs that many? I'd buy that for $1. I just remember playing it with my friends and, like, them hating me at the end of it because it was like we'd try to beat it for hours and never could, and, like, just being angry at each other. All right, we're going to end the stream looking at this kitsune that's doing calligraphy. This beautiful map, fantastic map. Thanks again, Chim. Thank you everyone for being here. We're going to wrap up the stream. I'm going to do a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and then we're going to end the stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back Monday with Mapmaker Monday and a D&D recap as I play tomorrow with my group. Very excited for that. This is our first time playing in a month. Very, very eager to destroy some stuff. Last session, my fireballs were useless because everything was immune to fire, or my psychic damage was useless because everything was resistant or immune to it. Now I can transmute damage. Force ball. Damn, I'll be back for sure. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time I give a damn, all right? Mac out. Bye. Just pause the music.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, and before—
What do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him.
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever. Find family. Kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have to the
Fabled realm of Goyak-Ta. Please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map maker, on Steam today.